Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be covering all the information that's been revealed this week about the preview weekend that's coming on Saturday. Ton of information here. I'll also be going over some stuff at the end about the other boxes and some thoughts there. And sorry, I have to do this tactic, but if you stay to the end, I'll let you know if I got that box from Bazooka Games that I hinted at in my previous video. Don't forget, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. With my last video, it seemed like you all liked it. I got a few subscribers there, and that brought me to 24, which is crazy for me. Very small, I get it, in the world of content creation, but goal by the end of the year is 100 subscribers. Anyone who clicks that button is a great help to me. And if you like what you're seeing, it lets me know I'm making the right stuff. And if you don't like it, just give me some feedback, and I promise with every video, I'll improve it. Let's talk about the Wolf Scout. So there's some cool information we can get before the pre-order comes, and you can decide if you want the box or not. Most Scouts units for other chapters are there like initiates or recruits. You could see that they have actually a Scouts kill team right now. We can look at that later on in the video. For these guys, they are the more experienced, I guess, scouting team. Can't think of another word for that, but they're supposed to be elite trackers. We can see it right there. They're given more elite weapons, so we'll see that in how they represent this team. So they talk about some stuff here. You know, I'll link this article down below. You can read it for yourself. With these pictures, they look cool. The key thing we can do is try and gather a little bit more information from them. I'm not an expert, but just reading these, I know they have the Frost Eye, the Fang Bearer, the Gunner down here with the Plasma, and the Trap Master, and then the Rune Priest Scald, I think so. That's 5 operatives, and you might notice that the obvious leader is not there, so I'm going to guess that an optional leader is the Rune Priest. So this is a valid team. I assume they would show a valid team. The only required take is the Fenrisian Wolf, so that's why we can guess they have an option for the leader. So we can go off of that. Some other information I'll go over in one of these other tabs you'll see here. So they mention, I believe, 4 operatives can get plasma weaponry. Obviously the Gunner here has the big plasma gun. That one's quite in your face. And we'll look for more, because I can't tell what the 4th one is without it being kind of somewhere on their model. Maybe the Rune Priest has a plasma pistol. So Elemental Storm, you can read it here. I'm not going to go over everything. It's kind of shrouds, and I think you can move it, hide your operatives to get closer for a charge. And then this Hunting Astartes is pretty much just like the Astartes shoot twice, fight twice. It looks like they have some special stuff for this team, so the plasma gun restrictions, maybe that's an existing one, and then psychic rules. We have some cool rules here. I wish I was more of an expert, but when I see this stuff, even the Elemental Storm, it really gets you excited to see how you could play with them. Even if you don't want to pick up this box, but you like this team's rules, I saw this really cool Reddit post about possible kit bashing. You could pick up some Phobos units, try and kit bash together. I think it was Blood Angels, and maybe you can just reuse these. And then if you want for flavor, kind of from the D&D world, where I came from before this, you could, instead of Elemental Storm, it could still be the Elemental Storm, like a Radiation Storm from Ball, or it could be like some type of Mist Shroud that you could lean into that more vampiric theme of them. So there's a ton of those. You could do what are they called? Salamanders. And you could do all these themes and try and think of what this could be. Smoke for like the Imperial Fists, just a simple librarian moving some type of shroud around. And then the biggest fun kit bash you'd have there is is it still a wolf? Is it a griffin from a different product? I saw wargs from the Lord of the Rings being proposed as the kit bash here. A lot of cool stuff for this team if you don't even want the models here. So here they have more information on that Wolf Scout, the Fenrisian Wolf. And I just want to go over these operatives. So I haven't seen the rules. He's the pack leader is obvious choice for the next plasma weapon. Otherwise, we have the Fang Bearer. I don't see one on there, so I'm assuming that it's not him. And I think in another article we could see his rules. Frost Eye, going to be your sniper. The one thing I picked up on, I believe, is that the pack leader and the Frost Eye look like they share the same legs. So you might have to choose between those two when you're building this, because in this box there's only the one sprue. You're not going to get a double sprue so you can cover the whole team, unfortunately. Here's the gunner. I don't think it comes with any other option. I've only seen him with the plasma gun, but who knows? And here's the a thing to note. So they say the Trapmaster has a plasma pistol, but it doesn't look like one, just a pistol in a holster. So any other character could represent that. So there's your two right here, two obvious ones. And here's the third. The Hunter's your generic character. To fill out this, I don't think I'll be building a Hunter, but I have to see what bodies are available, what I can reuse, and I guess kit bash, or like what choices if I have to choose between let's say the Rune Priest and someone else, but the Hunter is his own option, and I have the body. Maybe it's easier to build, but I actually did pick up long ago when I first started, like the Space Wolves. Picked up this. I know people were saying don't get it, especially because there's absolutely no Space Wolf characters.
Never go full retard.
And these guys, you intended to build them as the Hounds of Mordecai, but they took them out of the codex. So you could still build Reavers for Big Hammer, Warhammer 40k, but I'm actually going to use these Reavers to possibly represent some of the Hunters. You know, I could put a plasma pistol on them from various other kits, or just wait until I get those kits to quickly put on a plasma pistol, or take it from here if I don't use it for this Hunter. And then I can, you know, I don't play with a very strict WYSIWYG. I guess for this team I would, because I'm making it a plasma pistol, but I would use those Reavers in the Phobos team and in this, so I'm getting double value. I can kind of split teams with those same models. That's how I like to extend the value, and then obviously I can use them for Warhammer 40k if I wanted to. So yeah, I can't tell who the fourth one is, but my guess is it's the Rune Priest or the Pack Leader. So going with this, they tell you a couple things here about the leader has a powerful power weapon. The Fang Bear is your medic. Frost Eye, obviously, your marksman. It just says the gunner carries the plasma gun, so that's why I think it's only that gun. And here's where you see the Trapmaster has the plasma pistol. I don't see anyone else mentioning the plasma pistol for the Rune Priest, Scald, or the Pack Leader. Maybe they want to reveal that later. And the Hunter gets a plasma pistol. So they say 4 in one of these articles. I only see 3. It has to be the Pack Leader or the Rune Priest, but you know, don't at me in the comments if I'm wrong later. So we can look at more pictures here. I don't see any new information from here. You got your Fang Bear, Frost Eye, and your gunner. Looks like a cool shot. So that is it for the Space Wolves. Until we read a little bit later, they have a shared article that has some more information. And all right, now we have the Tau and the stealth battle suits. I actually picked up the old models earlier this year because I was looking at some old kill teams from, I think, Kill Team 2018, and I saw someone had a homebrewed team with them in it, and I thought, I'll pick them up. That's kind of cool. The biggest issue there, that old kit comes with 3. This one comes with 5. So that old kit is invalidated. However, I plan on using that old kit to help me get all the operatives here, and I'll go over that when we get to the operatives. But they're obviously just going to talk about how these are, you know, high-end stealth suits. They're going to look a little different than those old kits. It looks like they're talking about, you know, you have a very good conceal rules here, so you're going to want to. It sounds like you want to play them more defensively, but we'll see once the rules all get revealed and how the experts play. I literally just play for fun, so I'll probably run them wrong a lot, but it'll be fun to try out something new with this. I think they have a 5-man team. The Wolf Scouts were 6 with the Wolf, so I guess you can count the drones. Maybe they're 5 operatives with the 2 drones. And it's a fun balance between the Wolf Scout's aggression, they call it out right there, and the stealth suit's trying to lure them into a trap. So they talk about these burst cannons. That's that minigun looking thing, and then they have, we'll see it later, another gun, and that's the thing I'm going to use the old kit for, because I believe I have some guns that look like either a burst cannon or the, let me see, I'm just going to scroll down, the fusion blaster. I thought that's what it was called. So here we have another shot of all the operatives. Nothing new with the Wolf Scouts. See a gunner, Trapmaster, Frost Eye, and the Fang Bear. It looks like we have just the straight up gun, drone, and the marker drone. I didn't think they would have options there. They explicitly call those out as those types of drones, so there's not your Pathfinders where you have a bunch of drones you can pick from. We have the Lodestar over here with the burst cannon. This looks like the leader. I can never remember the names. They're less easy to remember than the Space Wolves one. And they're like Neutralizer and all the other names we'll see in a little bit. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But here you can see that fusion blaster. So there's two fusion blasters and the burst cannons. So pretty cool. They're moving around this Lodestar. It should be this guy right here. So that's kind of cool. They're clustered together. Could be revealing to how their rules are played. But it also could just be how they want to shoot the picture. So they basically, the closer you get them to your home field is the better their shots are, and they're not visible within 3 inches, so it kind of encourages the person you're playing to come in, as long as they're in concealed air, I should say. So you can kind of use that to your advantage to pull them in. You can read this. Here's that I said, like the closer they're to your territory, you get more accuracy, and there's some cool rules here about what stealth fields. Now, I like to think of kit bashes, but for these guys, I can't think of anyone that would be in their place. Maybe some Aldari. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I'm sure you could try and think of something, but to me, they fit so much into the Tau theme. I couldn't. The Space Wolves have a fun, put in any faction you want, pick a different kit bash for the animal companion they have. But for these guys, unless you're doing like some dwarf stealth thing with like I think the Grimnir model has like some floating automata or something. That could be cool. Otherwise, I can't think of a cool kit bash, but I'm sure others will. Maybe AdMac. It'd be fun to see when this team gets out what others think of kit bashing. So here we have that Neutralizer with the Fusion Blaster or the Burst Cannon. So I'm probably going to put Fusion Blasters on everything because I have the old kit I'll show here with the Burst Cannon. So they didn't really have anything different with these guys. I know it's not showing up the best. Oh. Here's the old operative. Looks a little different, I think. Yeah, I don't have the head antenna, but there's a burst cannon. If the bases stay the same, I'm just going to use him to cover any options I don't have from this one box. Because this kit comes with the 3 sprues that build the team, and in that sprue you only get to build 5 of them, and they say they have 6 options. So you have a Neutralizer, Chassevray, Designator, Liberator, Lodestar, Infiltrator. We'll skip the drones there, but you won't be able to build all of them. So you could skip, in my case, I could skip an Infiltrator, and I have one with the Burst Cannon right here. Now, I don't know if he gets the Fusion Cannon as well. We'll have to wait and see. But I also have a dude with, I don't know what they call this in the old rules. I just built him and never looked at the rules. He has something that looks like a Fusion Cannon, so I would call it that. I feel like I'm covered with those. So I'm going to build all the specialists here. The Designator, Liberator, Lodestar. And we'll see. I don't know which ones you can build. Maybe it's put any arms on anyone. Here's the leader. It's tough for me I'm not the best at picking out who shares poses. So just looking at the operatives here, you got the Lodestar. Technically, you also get that in the old kit. An Infiltrator I'm going to skip, so let's see who looks like. It looks like the Designator and that last Infiltrator share some similar pose, so I won't have to worry about that. I don't know. No one has those, so it could be different feet with a similar pose to someone else. Lots of cool options, though. So we're going to go into another article soon that goes over some more rules on these guys, but Just really cool options here. It says you could take 2 powerful fusion blasters. That's what I wanted to call it. So I don't, the Liberator, and I think we saw on the Neutralizer. So I guess that actually, if I could go back and fix anything, the Infiltrator cannot take the burst cannon. It sounds like, but we'll see. Unless that's a team restriction that you can only take 2. You could take 2. So yeah, we'll see what they reveal there on the actual faction rules, but you might be okay with your options. I mean, I don't play strictly WYSIWYG, so you'll have to see with who you play with and what you plan on getting out of this team and how you want to build them. But really exciting team, and looking forward to picking up this box this weekend if I can. All right, and here's where the experts talk about some key rules. Definitely read this article. I'm no expert. I'm just someone just likes having fun, and I have to reference the rules while I play, so I can't speak to them from heart and what they'll do, but these teams look really cool, both of the teams. It does look like more of them can have fusion blasters. Maybe all of them can. That's a really cool shot there, playing on I guess the entrance to the Tomb World. I don't really know what that's supposed to be, but it looks cool. I actually want to do more of this theme. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I do want to try and kit bash a custom kill team board that's more of like a fighting on the outside with like a snowy planet and going into caves. I probably won't pick up the Tomb World, so I'll try and have something that looks like caves but maybe uses some Tomb World rules just for fun. We saw this earlier in the video, the hunting Astartes. Shoot their plasma weapons twice. I assume that not many can, but it'll cost 1 extra AP. So if you have someone positioned correctly and you're being aggressive with your melee characters, maybe your hunter, you have positioned correctly to use up 3 AP in 1 turn. So you shoot once, and then probably 2 AP to shoot that second time. You could be eliminating him, kind of medium range character, eliminating any threats you see. Might be good for facing either a really tough operative you want to bring down, or a team with a lot of operatives, 2 different, splitting your shots could take out 2 people. That'd be a great turn. Elemental Storm, I talked about that. They're going to go over what you can do here, moving the storm marker, and there's some cool rules there. I'm not going to talk about the strategic ploys because I haven't really gotten into them. I'm actually still just learning Kill Team from the starter set, and I'm going out into the co-op play with my friend to really learn it together. I really want this team for when I'm done learning. It looks like you can move the storm around, and you keep operatives close to it, and you can move that around probably with the, I'm assuming you need the Psyker, right? I don't see anything there. Maybe you can move it without him. He's not required, so you have to be able to move it without him. The Storm's Bite has some rules for if they're in the storm. Really cool stuff there. I recommend you to read this article. And here's the Fangbear. This guy's the healer. He cannot take the plasma pistol, which I believe we already knew. Talks about his healing here and how, while it's not a plasma pistol, he can shoot twice without that extra AP. Really cool stuff. Some cool rules here. And they talk about the Wolf Scout. Wolf Scout, Fenrisian Wolf. Lots of different options for you, and here's some frost weapon stuff. So their combat blades can get some extra rules, and it beefs up the pack leader's weapon. So nothing to tell who has the extra plasma pistol. Then we have some more information on the stealth suits. 5 operatives from a choice of 6. That's where we can see. We're only going to be able to build 5 from that. That's a viable team with 1 box, but you're not going to be able to get all the options. So you either have to pick up a second box later when the single box goes for pre-order, or use some old kit that you have. So a lot of their theme is around preparing the ambush, bringing them in closer. Here we see the Lodestar also can have a fusion blaster, so probably everyone can have one, but you're only allowed to take 2. That's going to be my guess. That's what they're hinting at. And pretty much moving around that Lodestar to get extra CP. I saw someone in the Reddit kind of comment that's not the best way to generate CP, but other people replied that you set it out in the beginning of the game and forget about it, possibly get some CP. So when that comes out, I'm sure a bunch of people have advice. Just a different way to play a team. I do want to point out here, you can see we're trying to check the models. This looks like some community painted teams, but here the Hunter has an axe. So I saw a sneak peek of the sprue on Reddit. Someone posted it, and there's some axes there. Really cool. I always thought they should have axes instead of combat weapons, combat knives. And I plan on using any extra axes, maybe there's one or two, putting it on my reavers. So here we can see, I don't know what this little device is here. I didn't see it in the other ones. The Grenadier guy, can't remember his name, has a fusion blaster. He has a fusion blaster, so there probably is a bunch of fusion blasters. And it's all left up to us for the pre-order weekend. I do want to go over some of these cool paintings. I'm assuming these would be like a custom Space Wolves chapter. I don't really know. They're painted white. It's really cool. Definitely check out this. I'll also link it. Really like the OSL or whatever you'd call that here. This is how I plan on doing my Space Wolves, more of that gray rather than the light blue. And you can see a little bit more colorful Space Wolves. This is awesome. I love seeing this stuff because I like to just brainstorm and think about what I want my unique characters to look like. This is actually cool. This is Mountainside Tabletop. I like to watch their Kill Team stuff, but they have a unique take on the color scheme here. I don't know this person, but that looks like Wolf Spears, the canon successor chapter. It's pretty cool. Let's quickly check. Yeah, they both have their pack leader the same. Maybe that's the only loadout he has. Just looking for any hints on who has that other plasma. But that's the hunter, gunner. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. He also, it looks like the pack leader has one post. If you want to reveal, because not a single one. I'm assuming those helmets don't come in this kit. You got to use that from an infiltrator's kit. Not a single one has a different pack leader pose. Here's another one. So it's gonna probably have one pose. It's a rune priest. Another rune priest with like a more infiltrator's helmet. Yeah, same pose. So unfortunately, he's gonna have one. Maybe you could put something else in here. I don't know if what you'd want to put there. But yeah, it's really cool to see all these guys. Here's a Raven Guard, your emo guys. Now, this is where I like to look at this stuff to give me ideas. So this Raven Guard look is cool, but it immediately makes me think I'm not going to use the models from this kit. I'm going to use a Infiltrators box I got with 10 operatives, so I'll be able to build all of them. I think I want to build either Blood Angels or Blood Angels Successor chapter kit bash of this team that is leaning more into, I guess, Underworlds, if you saw those movies. I guess they didn't do as well, but I always liked those. Or like Blade, the Blade 2 specifically, where they have the vampire hunting team. I want to do a theme like that. I need to think of how I'll represent some of these operatives. The Psyker unit obviously won't work if you have people who don't like that, if you're trying to use those infiltrators for a main game, but I'm just going to say it's, if I do use that 10-man kit and want to use it in another game, just ignore him. He's a normal operative. Or I'll pick up that Phobos Librarian. Would definitely fit this look right here. And that skips out on all the fur, so I'd try and give them Blood Angels drip and whatever. But you could do Raven Guard. You could do Charadons. I'm sure there's some type of that unique themed. Those are like space sharks. You could do a bunch of themes here, and it's awesome when they release teams that have these thematic looks and kind of cool gameplay. And all you have to do is rename the rules. There's not much homebrewing that you have to do there, and you can get the feel of a different team while using the rules and the play-tested stuff without homebrewing too much. So here's some more stealth suits. I'm probably just going to be playing with them and stick between white or red. You got some really colorful guys here. I'm not familiar with these ats, but I actually did see one of these. So this is something closer to what I'll stick with. The green's really cool too. Gives me kind of a Halo vibe. Red, again. Can you roll a crit? I do know that one. Cool. Well, again, I like the orange pop with the black, but this is the one I actually saw on Reddit before I saw it here, and you saw it in the beginning of my video. I think this is it just matched what I already wanted. Maybe a little less ice for what I'm picturing, and I might go with like a spring thawing out theme for my Tau, I guess start of my Tau army, and then I would definitely want to do a fall theme for my Space Wolf. So these Wolf Scouts would be adding into that. But I love this. I love the red from the, what is that called? Farsight's Enclave. These guys are supposed to be Mavericks, so it kind of fits that. My Pathfinders are definitely going to be the white. So I think I might do that. 2 different flavors of Tau teams. You got green here, really cool. A lot of people will do like, I don't see it. I know that I already had one picture of it. Let's see, right here, this kind of stealthing up. Real cool effect. I haven't painted anything yet. So once I get to 100 subscribers, I promise to paint more things, put videos up on it. But as you can see, we're only at 20-ish, somewhere in the 20s. So I need the confidence. I'm using that to stall. All right, so that's it. That's all I have. I'm going to try and get this out today on Friday, right before. Best of luck. I did say that if you stuck around till now, I would let you know. I, in fact, did not get the box through Bazooka Games. They did send me a nice email, though, saying, sorry, their allocation was down. I don't know if that's a hint at what's this weekend's going to be like, if it's just going to be really fast. Just get it preloaded. Time is 10 a.m. Pacific time, anywhere you're at in the United States. I don't know for the rest of you, but best of luck. Hope the scalpers don't get it. I hope you all get the boxes you want. I did end up getting this Deathwatch kill team. A little frustrated that you have to get 2, potentially even 3, to get all the operatives, especially with the Gravis. I've seen people talk about magnetizing their arms or just building, I think one of this, the Horde Slayer, or the, can't remember the other one, the Bombard. I think this is the Bombard. And then just saying, hey, this is going to be either one of those, just picking one, whichever you like the look of, and then you have your Breacher. That's different. I am going to actually pick 5 operatives from this that I think fit the best of this Deathwatch team, and then I'm actually going to use some spare parts, so it only comes with 5 Deathwatch shoulders, so I'm just going to use anything else I can get from here that would fit into a Dark Angels feel. So let's just say I pick these 5. I could then take the Plasma Gunner. The Phobos guys, I'll have to think about a little bit how I'll do that. But everyone else should fit because I picked up the Imperial Fists Combat Patrol. So I don't have best advice on this because it kind of goes against what most people say is buy some models, build them. Don't buy more until you get them. But I do like buying boxes and taking a second to plan out. I know I wanted all these models. I didn't know where they wanted to go. But I bought them. I have the Dark Angels, some Dark Angels kits. And I went, okay, these Terminators, they're going to be my Terminators for Deathwing. Heavy Intercessors are right here, and they have the Gunner for Angels of Death. And here's your Intercessors. So I was trying to build out with these 2 some Intercessors, split a box of Assault Intercessors with a friend, and I'm sure I can fill out some of the unique models for the Deathwatch with the Company of Heroes. Just letting you know, there is options to kit bash some things if you play with friends who allow reasonable kit bashes that have the same silhouette, same base, but maybe it's a little different. Whatever you want, it's your way to have fun. They're your models. So I'm just saying, if you can't get what you want this weekend, there is ways to play these teams, especially if you have friends who are understanding. So again, best of luck. I'll be joining you all to try and get this Dead Silence box. We'll see if I get it. Otherwise, my son, again, really liked his voices at the end of the last video, so I'm going to do that again. Just remember, just build it.
Never get subscribe.
All right, now we have the space suits. Fuck. I'm trying to get everyone pumped up for the preview. Fuck. All right, we're going to be talking about the Wolf Scouts. They released some information this week, providing more information on them. Fuck, stop saying. All right, we're going to be talking about the Wolf Scouts. They released some